There was no real call for a new Land Rover. They're quite happy with the one they were producing. It wasn't as though we were sort of getting very dated. It was still selling very, very well, and that's a hard nut to crack if you want to propose something new.
And there was another good reason not to change a thing. A certain celebrated couple gave the Land Rover instant social acceptability. Suddenly, the workhorse was fashionable.
My Land Rover was built for the Queen Mother in 1965 with a six-cylinder Rover car engine. And it has chassis number QM1. We understand that Prince Philip went to Africa and saw other vehicles with six-cylinder engines in, came back to England and said to Land Rover, I want a six-cylinder. It's got lovely deluxe front seats, which were fitted in fact, in 1967. It's got a wireless in the front, an old-fashioned wireless, with speakers in the middle and at the back. So obviously the racing results could be listened to by everybody. And it's a 10-seater version and not a 12-seater version, which is quite rare.
And for that very special customer, Land Rover would go to enormous lengths to fit those little touches that mean so much. If one is fond of carrying one's pets around with one, it's surprising what one might need, like an interior rear window wiper for the condensation from the corgi's breath. Isn't that right, Clarence? From monarchs to mudpluggers, there seemed no limit to the creativity of those clever people at Solihull. And if you're looking for the weirdest and wackiest incarnations, pay a visit to the Bashall family and the Dunsfold Land Rover Trust. Deep in leafy Surrey, Brian and his son Philip have spent a large chunk of their lives preserving some of the more unusual bits of the Land Rover story.
As a personal thing, we like to save pre-production or development vehicles because the main manufacturers, unfortunately, don't have a collecting policy for the prototypes or development vehicles. They tend to collect the first or the last of every production run, which is great, fine, but nobody seems to collect the in-between models, which is where we like to step in.
Collector or not, they're addictive creatures. You don't just own a Land Rover, you become part of it.
I don't like to see a nice vehicle rot, and I am watching it rot. I won't let it completely rot. Suddenly, you know, the last gas, I'll suddenly decide to have it done. But it's because of our early years. I mean, there's great sentimental value to us because we had such fun in it. It was grey. You can still see a little bit of grey on the corner, but we actually just bought a tin of Dulux and a couple of rushes, and we painted it white. I don't know why we decided to paint it white. We should have painted it camouflage colours, really, so that it wouldn't stick out in the countryside. But we decided to paint it white. Young and foolish. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We came over the Alps, and I forgot to check the water, and the what do you call it, wasn't working, the temperature gauge wasn't working. And we just forgot to check the water. And suddenly steam came belching out of it, and we ground to a halt. And fortunately, there was a garage nearby and a little French workshop, and this guy came along and looked at it and said, oh, il faut démonter tout ça. We have to take it all to pieces. And he spent a day on it, put us back together, and off we went. That's the great thing about the Land Rover. You could always find something to do.
I would say that it is one of the greatest success stories of the British manufacturing world. It's been now from 1947 until the present time, still running, still building, nearly as many as we ever did. It shows that it is what we thought it was.
A success story without end. With sales approaching 2 million, Land Rovers have become a national institution. They've been imitated but never bettered, and even formed the basis for yet another Solihull legend, the sharp-suited Range Rover. So next time you see one of the scores of modern 4x4s, just pause for thought and remember that it was all started by that little green machine from Birmingham. In this job, you're apt to get a wee bit blasé, a bit cynical about cars. But in the last 10 days, I must have driven, what? A dozen Land Rovers, all different shapes and sizes, and I've come away mightily impressed. So guess what I've just bought?
More stuff. That van.
Yeah, caravan. Caravan.
It's a caravan.
nice, isn't it? Get a still of that. Get a still of that.
This one.
I've got the Renault Belfry. See that one there? That's what I've got wings for in my house. This one.
Yeah, the 2ST75.
Yeah. Huh? Oh, the dash? Yeah.
Like the, well, I don't know what it's like.
Mobility scooter.
Mobility.
That'll get him about, wouldn't it?
Et alors sur le côté, on faisait ces bottines.
Alors, on va donner un coup d'œil au...
Mini. It's not the Mini, it's just Mini. A brand. Mini. Got it? Madly British Mini. Before Mini, small cars weren't really cars at all. They were just weird. In the 1950s, BMW built this Isetta bubble car. Fuel efficient? Certainly. But who wants to drive a car powered by a motorcycle engine? Mini was Britain's response to the Isetta, and it succeeded beyond all expectations. Yet today BMW owns Rover, and it will soon introduce an all-new Mini. Then Mini won't be oddly, madly British anymore. But in the meantime, I'd like to salute Mini, a product the same age as me. This original 1959 Austin 7 is just achingly cool. Look at these fantastic details. The exposed seams. And these deep dish steel wheels are just perfectly proportioned. And then these quite curious, oddly shaped, aerodynamically styled door hinges. Inside, you've got door bins you can lose an arm in. There's very simple string door handles, little light that comes